The success of your business depends on how good you are as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as an innovator, how creative you are, how resourceful you are. It all depends on you. And no matter how much you've pulled yourself out of the business, if you're the business owner and you're the one that runs that business, how far that business gets depends on how good you are. And it doesn't matter what type of business you have. It doesn't matter what type of things you sell. It doesn't matter who you sell to. Your business is only going to get as far as you allow it to with your skill set, with your understanding, and with your mental capacity to handle things, to try new things, to delegate to the right people, to innovate new ideas. And this video is going to share with you exactly how to become the most powerful business owner you can become by becoming an innovator. Innovators are the people who run the world, the people who find different avenues to solve things that other people don't see. You break free from the continual flow of traffic that every other business owner is on, and you find your new way to do things. And what this does is it means that you find new products. It means that you find better customers. It means that you have an easier time solving problems because it all depends on you. And you now have a skill set that nobody else has because you can find different ways to solve problems that are less cash flow intensive, less mentally intensive, and honestly just kind of your way to do it that nobody else is doing. And this creativity and this resourcefulness is what's going to take your business to the next level. And this video is going to show you how to become an innovator. So if you want to get yourself to that place where you're finding new ways to do things and you're becoming that innovator who's actually taking their business to the next level and working on top of it and not inside of it every single day, just spinning your wheels, doing the exact same thing everybody else is doing, this is how you do it. Okay, so here's how to become an innovator. All innovation begins with frustration. All of it begins with what sucks, why does it suck, how can I make it better? And that's it. And you can innovate either internally or you can innovate client facing. And when people think of innovation, they think, oh, innovation is creating new products like Steve Jobs and Apple, they create new products, he's an innovator. But you can do it one of two ways, or you can do both if you'd like to, but I found more success personally for my businesses innovating internally and doing things like process-wise a different way than everybody else is doing. And what that allows me to do is see some success that nobody else is seeing because I'm not doing the status quo of everybody else. I don't operate the same way as everybody else, so my results exponentially grow and they're able to compound on each other instead of just getting the linear 1.25 growth that everybody else is getting every year that they're content with. I'm not content with that. I want to do things more efficient. I want to do them easier. I want to take the complexity out of things, and I want to make more money for the effort that I put in to get that, right? And that's it. That's how I innovate. That's my mentality when I go to innovate in my business. Okay, and this is how I do it. So innovation doesn't just mean coming up with great products like we talked about. It can mean making your processes better, innovating new ways to get things done. So this can be anything from your supply chain to the way that you send emails to the way that your follow-up works to the way that you run ads or delegate those out. It can be any part of that. So efficiency is the first thing that I look at. How much effort for one unit of production? If I work for an hour on one piece of my business, how much production am I going to get out of that and why? Right? There's a lot of things in business that a lot of business owners do that are extremely time intensive and don't really produce that big of a return, but they do them because everybody else is doing it. And that's a huge time suck and honestly a huge cash suck because if you're the one that's making those big moves in your business, you don't have time to make those other things that actually move that lever because you're so focused on something that everybody else is doing because you think, I have to do that. Right? And innovators don't think like that. They think, what's best for me? What's best for my business? What's going to get me to the next level? Not what is everybody else doing? We got to copy that and just keep up with them. Because if you just keep up with somebody, you're going to get the exact same results that they get or worse. You're never going to be able to pass them and get the results that you're looking for. Okay? The next one is simplicity. I take the complexity out of everything that I do. If my processes are complex, it's bad. As simple as I can make things, that's what I do. So when it comes to my ads, I make very simple ads. And I understand that the only goal of the ad is to get somebody to click on it. With my emails, I don't do super design heavy emails. And I have product businesses in the info product space. I have product businesses in the e-com space. I also have a consulting business. All of my businesses, none of them have design heavy emails because I know that the only goal of the email is to get somebody to click to a sales page, which is where I actually do the selling on. Right? I'm not trying to sell on the email. I'm not trying to make it look good. I don't care about that. All I'm trying to do is use email as a traffic source to get somebody to click to the actual sales page itself. Okay? And so that's where the simplicity comes in. And I'm able to make an email sequence that lasts for 4 weeks, right? For one thing specifically, where this would take people weeks to just have the idea for and then delegate out to somebody else and have them put it together and cost a lot of time and a lot of money, or I can just boom, 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 get it done, right? And suddenly I've got 3 emails for 4 weeks and it's good. Just because I'm using real simple emails because I'm just trying to get the result from that email, which is getting somebody to click to the sales page to purchase the thing, instead of making that all design heavy just because everybody else is doing it. Right? And so that's how I've innovated that simplicity with my emails. And I get the exact same results, or sometimes better, because the delivery is better, honestly, or deliverability is better, but honestly, everything about it is better because I don't have to take the time to do all of it. And even when I delegate it out to somebody else, it doesn't take my team's time to make all those emails because it's very, very basic. Okay, so understanding the goal of each asset of your business, of each piece of your business, is crucial for innovation, because then you can say, okay, what's the result that I want from this specific thing right here? And how can I break it down to the bare bones, the skeleton, and get the exact same result or better, right? Because a lot of times the simpler you make something, the better it's going to be, all right? The final thing is speed. So how can you innovate to get something, a speedier result, right? And again, you just look at that end result. What is that end result? Let's say like your Amazon, for example. Amazon built their entire business on innovating speed. Okay, and so then they took the model from FedEx and were like, okay, instead of having somebody send it all the way from Washington and sending it all the way to Florida, why don't we have a hub in Kansas City, and then everything is sent there, and then it's sent out directly, and so then we can go on a 24/7 cycle. And so then instead of ordering online and having to wait 2 weeks, now we've cut down that time by a week because now we have hubs and we copied the FedEx way, right? And so that's a great way to do it, and I'll talk about a little bit more about that at the end of this, about how you can borrow ideas from other industries. Okay, so Amazon innovated on speed, and they built their entire business on that. Okay? So here's how to innovate for yourself, for your clients, for anybody, no matter what type of business that you're in. All innovation begins with frustration. Okay? Innovation begins with what sucks, right? Why does it suck, and how can I figure that out? Okay, and I'll talk more about that in a second. But frustration is a sliding scale. So the things that bug you maybe just like a little bit, they're always going to be a grand frustration for somebody else. So somebody on your team might be dealing with something that just frustrates the absolute heck out of them, but then you see it as something that's pretty easy to you. You don't see it as a big frustration. So you have to understand every single person that touches your business internally. If you're focused on innovating internally, you have to understand what the biggest frustrations of everybody on your team are. And when you do, then you can say, okay, well, what's the end result to your team member, right? What's the end result of the thing that you're doing? And then they'll tell you, and you say, okay, well, it's taking you a lot of time to do this part. Do we actually need to do that part, right? Can we take that out? Can we make it more simple? Okay, how can we make this more efficient? Can I add somebody else to the team to help you out, right? How can you innovate it? Even if nobody else in your industry is doing it, you know your business better than anybody. Right? You know what gets stuff done, what your customers respond to, what your team members like best. Do what's best for you and innovate that way. Figure out what goal you're trying to get and figure out how you can make it more efficient, simpler, or quicker to get that result. And it's all a feeling. All of the things that you choose to innovate are a feeling. What sucks? What do you not like dealing with? Why does it suck? Are we making it too hard on ourselves? Is it something that we have no control over? How badly does that thing suck, right? Where does it fall in the rankings of, oh, this is the worst thing, and this thing it's just kind of a pebble in my shoe, right? Where does it fall in that scale? And so then it's honestly just like looking at it with your feeling, like, why is it bad? How bad is it? Is it something that I really need to deal with right now? And is it something that I can make more efficient, speed up, or improve as far as quality and efficient wise? Right? You can innovate any part of your business or your life, pretty basic. So here's how to innovate, using the techniques that I use for my business right now. So the first one is just that: find out what sucks, and then ask yourself if it has to suck, and then how can you figure that out? Okay, that one's basic. We just talked about that. The other ways that you can do it, these are pretty fun. So the first one is borrow ideas from other industries. A great example of this is Starbucks and Howard Schultz. So before Starbucks, Howard Schultz went to, I think it was Italy, and he went over there and he saw how people treated coffee shops over in Italy. It was a place where you could go sit down, talk with other people, collaborate, work, whatever you wanted to do. It was just like a place for people to meet, and coffee was the thing that they used to get people to go there. And so Scholes was like, this is a perfect thing for us to do, in the United States. And he brought that model over to the United States, and he innovated the entire coffee industry just by using somebody else's model in the other industry. FedEx did the exact same thing. And they started with their hub thing out of Memphis, Tennessee. And they said, hey, instead of having to send stuff cross country and having to rely on that, and then it being, a very long time to get the package, we know it'll be delivered, but it's going to be a while. Why don't we have a hub and we send everything to Memphis, Tennessee, and then they all go out of Memphis, Tennessee, because it's kind of that, a spot that's good for the entire United States. And they innovated their entire industry. Everybody else in the game, DHL, USPS, all those people were doing it the exact same way, which is, okay, this needs to get from here to here. It's just going to be a straight shot there. And the packages would be often delayed. And FedEx said, we're going to innovate. We're going to make this speedier and more efficient. You just have to send your packages to Memphis, and then we'll send them out. Right? And then they were able to do overnight delivery, and they took the entire market share of the entire industry, and they were able to do overnight delivery for any package just because they sent it into a central hub. Amazon copied this style, and that's why they have those warehouses and things, and that's how they're able to do same-day delivery, overnight delivery from packages that are across the country. Because they send it into the hub, that hub runs 24/7 and sends it out to you. Okay, that's innovation at its finest. And that's innovating a process, and then it shows itself on the client side. Because you made your process easier, you've optimized that, and then your customers reap the benefit of it. Okay? So, a way that I like to do it is people I consult with all the time in my private client group and just people I do audits for. I'll ask them like, okay, well, why do we do this? And they're like, oh, that's the way that it's always done. Anyways, blah, 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 blah. And they'll start talking about something else. I'm like, okay, wait, if it's always been done like this, just because that's the way that it's always been done, why don't we try and figure that out? Right? Why don't we try to do something different? Because then the results can show up for you on your side. They can show up on the client side. Like, the results of true innovation and actually innovating properly are top tier. Like, you can't get anything better as far as business optimization goes than innovating your processes, because it helps you and your customers. So if there's something in your business that you're like, oh, that's always the way that it's been done, take a second look at that. That might be a place that you have a lot of frustration that you just push under the rug because it's always the way that it's been done, that you can innovate on and take your business to the next level that nobody else is even looking at, because they have the same mentality of that's the way it's always been done. Okay, that's a great way to find some innovation. So stop doing what's hot, what other people are doing, like what other people are talking about. Have you ever heard that phrase where it's like, if people are talking about a stock, then you've already missed the run? That's a perfect example or perfect corollary, I should say, to innovation in business. If there's something that is like a new model that everybody is talking about, they're all trying it, buck that trend. Do something else, right? If everybody is talking about this, they're flooding your entire addressable market with this one thing, and they're seeing it from everybody. If you're the person that does something different, because again, you're only trying to get that one result, right? If they try a new model, a new strategy with like their ads or something, the only goal that they're trying to do with that ad is pre-sell and get the click. So how can you do something different and still get that pre-sell and get the click, and maybe make it easier on your team, make it different, right? And it makes it easier on the team, and then that difference means that you stand out more to your customers, okay? So that's a great way to find some innovation. It's just like, what is everybody doing right now? How can we make it different? And again, you got to keep that mentality of what is the goal of that one thing that everybody's doing? Or what's the end result of it? If it's a new style of sales page, the only goal of that sales page is to persuade somebody enough to buy, right? So how can we change the format of our sales page and still get that exact same result? Because if you do the same thing as everybody else, your ceiling is what their results are. Right? Their result, if they're doing $1 million a month, that's your ceiling. And you'll never be able to go over that because you're doing the exact same thing as them. So constraints in your business, they breed creativity and resourcefulness. That is a vital piece of business information that I was never taught by anybody, and I had to figure out for myself. Anywhere that you see a bottleneck in your business is a place that you can become creative. In your sales process, if, for example, people fall out of that sales process and that you found a bottleneck, they're getting to the checkout page but they're not purchasing, that's a fantastic place that you can add some creativity and add some innovation. What can you do to that sales process to send people back to that thing that you're selling, to collect sales from people who drop off? How can you be resourceful and innovate on that one thing and get the results that you're looking for? Okay, so the constraints in your business are going to breed that creativity and the resourcefulness that you need to actually take things to the next level. So I hope that helped. I hope this was kind of eye-opening for what you're looking to do. And again, your business is only going to be as good as you are as the business owner. Your skill set, your mindset, your awareness of self, everything that revolves around you specifically is the ceiling for your business. So if you don't take yourself to that next tier, then your business will never get to that next tier either. Okay, so the best way to grow, best way to scale and move yourself from that, 6-figure mark on the track to 8 figures is to scale yourself. Okay? And innovation is the best way to do it.